Hi there, I hope that you're doing well. I know I am, because just yesterday we had a paper accepted that concerns the assessment of push and pull strength in elite Swedish field throwers. So in this video I will tell you all about this new paper. Enjoy. So the title of this study is an assessment of the ratio between upper body push and pull strength in female and male elite Swedish track and field throwers. And it was accepted yesterday, 22nd of July 2024, and it will be published in the Sports Scientific Journal. So this paper was co-authored by Ted Gunham. He's a PhD student at the Department of Sports Science at the Linnaeus University, and he's also a physiotherapist and a competitive weightlifter. So it was great to collaborate with Ted, and also with Håkan Augustsson, who's the coach for many Swedish elite sprinters and has been that for decades by now. So it was a pleasure as always to collaborate with Håkan on this paper. So a little bit of background then, why this research was done. Power and strength are considered essential for the execution of numerous athletic activities. Information regarding the strength ratio between agonist and antagonist muscles is commonly analyzed in sports testing due to its association with athletic performance as well as its correlation to sports injuries. Currently, there is no gold standard in the literature to assess the ratio between upper body push and pull strength. So, athletes across field throwing events dedicate significant time to resistance training aiming to increase strength and power. Exercises like the bench press and the bench row are fundamental components in the training regimes of elite field throwers. However, the strength ratios between these exercises have not been studied for field throwing athletes or, for that matter, athletes in general, to the best of my knowledge. And so, the purpose of this study was to determine the agonist to antagonist ratio of upper body strength in female and male elite Swedish field throwers using a new push, bench press, and pull, supine bench row test device, and to determine its reliability. So this table illustrates the characteristics of the participants. They were 17 all in all, and they were both male and female throwers, and they consisted of discus, hammer throw, and shot put throwers. When it comes to the retest part of the study, we had sports science students with strength training experience participating, and they performed the push and pull test twice, 5 to 7 days apart. So this figure illustrates the custom-built device that we used in this study for measuring push in the form of bench press and pull in the form of supine bench pull strength ratios. What is original and pretty clever, we believe, with this device is that it isometrically measures both bench press and bench row performance in an identical test position, with the participant lying supine on a training bench. And the concept of the device is based on the capacity of bidirectional load cells to measure both tension, push, and compression, pull forces. So these two force cells are able to measure the participants' maximal isometric forces for both push, which is illustrated by the green arrow, and pull, which is illustrated by the red arrow forces. So as you can see, the device consisted of horizontal wood studs that were anchored to the underside of a regular training bench. The studs were in turn connected to 2 vertical wood pillars onto which 1 load cell and 2 threaded rods were placed on each side. An Olympic 20 kilogram barbell was placed between the threaded rods, secured over and under with joint brackets and nuts. So this construction allowed the barbell to be positioned at any distance from the participant's chest with great precision, simply by screwing the nuts up or down the threaded rods. Once a particular position was set and the nuts were tightened, the device exhibited excellent mechanical rigidity, effectively minimizing joint movement. During supine bench row testing, the upper body was firmly secured to the bench by a heavy-duty Velcro fixation belt. And so, using this new device, we measured isometric force with the barbell at the chest, and that was push only because you can't really pull the barbell when it's already at the chest, and at the 25, 50 and 75% position of the full range of movement for each exercise, bench press and bench row. So this figure illustrates the testing setup used for this new device, and during supine bench row testing, the upper body was firmly secured to the bench by a heavy-duty Velcro fixation belt, as I mentioned earlier. So let's have a look at the results then. This table shows the push and pull strength in elite Swedish field throwers, and it actually gives new insight to the physiological profile of this successful group of athletes, in that they are elite. So that's pretty interesting, I think. And the force data for these two exercises follow pretty much the same pattern for both females and males. I will show you a figure of this in a moment. So let's have a look at another table that shows the ratios between these exercises. So when it comes to strength ratios for push and pull in this group of athletes, in a nutshell, we can say that for all range of movements combined, the females demonstrated 15% more push than pull strength, whereas the males showed 22% more push than pull strength. However, at the neutral midpoint position, 50% of the full ROM, the strength ratios for the push and the pull exercises demonstrated a well-balanced relationship between agonist and antagonist muscles. So the ratios were 103 for females and 107 for males. And so let's have a look at the strength curves of these elite athletes. So this figure illustrates that the bench press exercise exhibited an ascending strength curve, meaning it was possible to produce more force during the last part of the ROM, and in contrast the supine bench row displayed a descending strength curve, indicating that more force could be generated during the first part of the ROM. From a practical standpoint, if testing only one distance between the chest and the barbell, it may be most valid and representative to evaluate the ratio of agonist to antagonist upper body strength at the midpoint, 50% of the full ROM. Also, this figure is a good illustration of the existence of a sticking point or a sticking region for the bench press exercise. And that's a position where the capacity to generate force is diminished. So the bench press sticking region has been reported to occur at a mean distance of around 13 to 16 centimeters above the chest. And this aligns with our results where less bench press force was produced at 25% of the ROM compared to both the 0% and the 50% positions for both the female and male throwers. So this indicates the presence of a sticking region approximately when the distance between the barbell and the chest was 10 centimeters. So when it comes to the test-retest reliability of the new device, the ICCs varied between 0.93 to 0.96 for the isometric bench press and supine bench row tests, which indicates excellent reliability. And notably, these results were achieved without participants undergoing any familiarization sessions. And this affirms the high reliability of the new push and pull test device and is in agreement with the high test-retest reliability noted in other isometric strength assessment in the sports science literature. So a bit of discussion then. Upper body strength ratios in female and male elite, that is successful field throwers, was studied using a new push and pull test device. And it's always interesting, we believe, to assess the physiological profile of successful, that is, elite athletes, to be able to describe what seems to be needed to reach success in a particular athletic event. And as mentioned before, at the neutral midpoint position, 50% of the full ROM, the strength ratios for the push and the pull exercises demonstrated a well-balanced relationship between agonist and antagonist muscles. So for athletes and coaches, the new push and pull test device provides a reliable method to determine the ratio of strength between opposing muscle groups in the upper body. So now you know a little bit more about our new paper on the assessment of push and pull strength in elite Swedish field throwers. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.